This is the ARLA Elite Series European exhibition here for race 2 of 4 at the Rockingham Speedway in the United Kingdom. Smash Beer Pole Award goes to the number 42 car driven by Phineas Marshal. The only Leonard in the field would get a jump on James West in car number 69, that first car on the outside line. However, Kevin Monroe in the 63 would start chasing him down right away. One lap later, Monroe is going to peek to the inside of Marshal's 42 car coming through turn 1. Monroe is not able to get a good run on him. He's going to have to get him in 2. There he goes. He's going to have to check up, and Marshal keeps the lead. You probably saw some smoke a second ago. That was from a crash on lap 1 that didn't bring out the yellow flag. Marcus Leonard in car number 78 is going to charge into turn 2 a little too hard. He's going to hit Kurt Walker, taking both cars hard into the outside wall. They're both able to keep going, but they would be out of contention for the rest of the day. Car number 39 is normally driven by Hinata Hyuga, however, the officials suspended her from this race because of her behavior at the Karyala Raceway. TM Master Cup Series commentator Lance Andrews would replace her for this one race, and it was probably a good idea. Lance Andrews is keeping his nose clean so far. Back up front, Kevin Monroe is going to make a move for the lead once again. He peeks to the inside of Phineas Marshall's number 42 Doofenshmirtz Incorporated Leonard. Coming into turn 2, he gets a bigger run this time. He's going to take the lead, bringing Kakashi Hatake in car number 32 with him. Caution 1 on lap 3. Watch the right of your screen. That is LA Riggs in the black and pink number 19. She runs into the 45 around the quarter coming out of turn 2. Brenda Riggs in the 6 gets a piece of that. This is the wreck that officially brings out the yellow. However, there was a bigger wreck further up the track. Watch for Arto Kekkonen in car number 21. He runs into his teammate, the 4 of Mario Franchetti. The 4 almost goes upside down. Franchetti goes up the wall. He comes back down on his wheels. A very scary moment for the winner at Karyala last week. However, Mario Franchetti would drive away from this incident, but he would have some choice words for Arto Kekkonen. Kevin Monroe in car number 63 leads on the restart. There you see James West in car number 69 shooting to the bottom. He's trying to make an attempt for second on Kakashi Hatake. Caution 2 on lap 10, not long after the restart. Kevin Kelly in car number 08 charges into turn 4 into the 72 of Andy Pearson, takes both cars into the wall. That is Olivier Martinez in the 5. He runs into the 72, his car owner. Kevin Kelly has shown some very unusual brain fade over the last couple of weeks. He spun Arto Kekkonen out of the lead at Karyala last week. Officials at CJ Racing would not be too happy with Kevin Kelly after this. Kelly drives for that organization. During the race to the yellow flag, Kakashi Hatake makes a move for the lead on Kevin Monroe, and he succeeds. However, Hatake would have tire problems under the caution. He would have to bring his car in to get his tires changed. He restarted at the back of the pack. Kevin Monroe would lead on the restart with his M&J teammate and 2008 ARLA champion Chris Johans right behind him. There you see that car on the inside is Bixby Foot in the number 14 making a move for third on Phineas Marshal. There goes Chris Johans to the inside of Kevin Monroe. He's going for the lead, and he will take it. Caution 3 on lap 16. This would be a rather nasty incident. Jason Bates is going to run into Siju Dejao in the 37 coming through turn 2. Takes both cars into the wall. Dejao in the 37 goes upside down. Bruno Battaglia is involved, and Dejao goes for a barrel roll about 5 or 6 times. Dejao would be a bit shaken up, however, he was okay. All 3 cars involved in the incident would go behind the wall and out of the race. Chris Johans in the 64 led on the restart. Kevin Monroe in second, Bixby Foot in third, and Foot's teammate Jim Kidd in fourth. Caution 4 on lap 21. Right after the restart, Bixby Foot gets a little too eager for the lead. He takes himself and Kevin Monroe into the outside wall. And here comes Rob Ryder in the 65. He runs in the 63. Ali Riggs and Blaine Rowe involved. Very nasty crash right after the restart. Several hard hits, especially for Kevin Monroe. This is what Rob Ryder saw. Nowhere to go for the 65. He gets hit driver's side first by Ali Riggs and gets pushed off the ground. This would take cars 19, 65, 77, and 63 out of the race. There you see Jared Pierce was also involved. Pierce having a rather rude introduction to the ARLA Elite Series. Chris Johans led on the restart. Jim Kidd and Thurston Blood right behind him. There they go, 3 wide. However, by some stroke of luck, they're not going to wreck coming through turn 2, and whoa! Chris Johans gets a little out of shape. Cody Richards in the 53 takes advantage and takes the 3rd spot away. Going into turn 4, Thurston Blood leads. Cody Richards trying to make a move for second on Jim Kidd in the 18, and then he decides second isn't good enough and goes for the lead. The 53 has been unusually strong today, and behind behind the leaders, you see James West going for third. Pole sitter Phineas Marshal in car number 42 would work his way back up into the top 5. Currently he's in third, following the second place driver Neji Hyuga. Marshall would eventually get around the 11 for second. However, here comes Hyuga on the inside. He's got a run coming out of turn 4, and he will take second back. And here comes Chris Johans in car number 64. He works his way back up into the top 5 and then takes second away from Neji Hyuga with a little help from the lapped car of Leslie Riggs. Johans would eventually chase down the 53 of Cody Richards, and he would take the lead once again. But Cody Richards would not go down without a fight, and he takes the lead from Chris Johans coming through turn 4. The two would continue to exchange the lead in the next couple of laps. Ordinarily, this would slow them down, but they were able to pull away from the field somehow. A debris caution would fly on lap 41, and Cody Richards led on the restart, but Chris Johans would make a move on him going into turn 3. There you see Kakashi Hatake, Neji Hyuga, and Phineas Marshal going 3 wide behind the leaders. Hyuga, with the help of his teammate, the 32, is going to get a big run on Cody Richards coming out of turn 4, and he's going to attempt to take second away from the 53. Caution 6 on lap 47. Coming into turn 2, Neji Hyuga is going to run into the 64 of Chris Johans and take them both hard into the outside wall. Everybody would miss them, but their hunt for the win would be over. Chris Johans would not be too happy at Neji Hyuga's driving. Johans blew an engine at Karyala, and well, he continues to have more sour luck here. Kakashi Hatake led on the restart, a nice little reward for his patience after having some tire problems in the early stages of the race. However, watch the 53, he shoots to the bottom of the 32, and he's going to take the lead coming into turn 2. But Hatake would not go down easily. He would take the lead back from Cody Richards going into turn 4, opening up a good-sized lead over the 53. But Richards, amazingly, would make all of that ground up, and he would take the lead back from Hatake coming into turn 2, perhaps a little more aggressively than usual. He almost punts the 32 into the wall. Fortunately, he didn't, but it would be quite a scare for Kakashi Hatake. Phineas Marshal in the 42 tries to make a 3 wide for the lead, but he doesn't have enough momentum to make a serious run. Here comes Chris Johans, lapped car. Cody Richards bounces off the 64 and then the wall, and then into the 64 again. Phineas Marshal sees an opportunity, tries to make a run on the 53. However, he doesn't have enough momentum. Meanwhile, Cody Richards carries more speed than the 32 coming out of turn 4. He's going to take the lead back from Kakashi Hatake. Cody Richards has shown amazing resilience today, but this isn't the last time he would face lap traffic. Gets held up by the 50 of Leslie Riggs. Phineas Marshal shoots to the bottom and takes the lead. Cody Richards would have to drop back to third. In the meantime, Marshal would face a challenge from Kakashi Hatake in the 32. Hatake dodges to the bottom. Cody Richards is going to follow him. Coming through turn 2, Kakashi Hatake doesn't quite have enough momentum to pass the 42. He's going to have to get him in 3. And here he comes. He's got the lead. Cody Richards sees an opportunity with the 32 and the 42 battling side by side. He makes a 3 wide pass on them coming through turn 1. Takes Hatake and Marshal completely by surprise. Hatake would make every attempt to get by the 53. And coming off the final turn of the race, Hatake is right on the 53's bumper, but Cody Richards takes the victory at Rockingham. A brilliant drive by the struggling number 53 team would leave many people wondering if he would be a force to be reckoned with in 2009. Kakashi Hatake finishes second. Not exactly an unfamiliar spot for Hatake. He had the most second place finishes out of anybody else in 2007. Phineas Marshal in third. Namimura, second consecutive fourth place finish for the 14-year-old driver. She may be a force to be reckoned with, even though she's only going part-time in 2009, sharing the 13 ride with Steven Viper. Thurston Blood in 5th, Brenda Riggs in 6th, Ricky Navarro in 7th, Naruto Uzumaki in 8th. This may be Uzumaki's last race in that 90 car. That team will split from J Motor in 2009 with a new driver. Whoever the new driver will be, will probably run these last 2 European races as an orientation in that 90 car. James West finishes 9th, and Jim Kidd rounds out the top 10. The next race will be in Belfast, Ireland. This is CJ, signing off.